It's a cold, quiet night outside in Nashville, but inside, who knows how many girls are being held by threats and coercion, forced to sell themselves. In a nearby city, a small group of volunteers with Rahab's Hope is planning a search and rescue of sorts. They're targeting these girls, hoping to reach as many as possible. A lot of trafficking victims today are not out on the street, so where to find them? Rahab's Hope has learned that oftentimes these girls are just a phone call away.
We started doing research on Craigslist and Backpage and saw thousands of ads. I mean, you can pull any city up and see ad after ad.
This ministry is the brainchild of Emily Fitzpatrick, who also started Hope House, a shelter for trafficking victims.
We saw ads that had, young girls and their face was blurred, so to us that looked like she could have been a minor. And we saw girls that the ad maybe said 19 and she looked every bit of 12 to 13 years old.
Volunteers start with prayer and keep it going while the calls go out. Each caller has a prayer partner at her side. They refer to a list of resources in the city targeted that night and work from a script that discreetly identifies the extent that a pimp may be controlling a girl.
Are you able to talk to your families?
We have to approach it very gently, very openly. Just whatever your needs are, we're here. If they're not ready to leave, there's nothing we can do about that. But we have had girls say, no, I'm not ready to leave, but I'll take your number. And they've called later and said, I think I'm ready.
Many girls are not even free to talk, so controlled by their pimps that they have to hang up. But since it started last year, Rahab's Hope has spoken with close to 1,000 victims in 19 cities. It partners with law enforcement and in the last year has helped to rescue 4 girls. Many are brainwashed and deny that they're even being trafficked. Others are able to admit the horror of their world.
We've had girls, as soon as we said, is there anything I can pray for you, burst into tears. I hate what I'm doing. I hate this.
On this particular night, Kern has a long conversation with just such a victim. She tells Kern she's 6 months pregnant.
It must be really hard.
Kern is able to help Ashley think through her options and pray with her. But even Kern, who's been making calls for months now, is overcome with emotion as she hangs up. In an adjacent room, volunteer Michelle Kent encourages another victim who shares her dream of getting out and going back to school.
And I can tell by talking to you that you're right on, and you're a very smart woman, and I know that you can achieve anything that you would set your mind to. I could tell it, I hear it, I could hear it in your voice.
If the work of Rahab's Hope seems laborious, it's nothing compared to the intensity of its sister organization, Hope House. Nestled in a remote part of North Carolina, the shelter serves just a few victims at a time. Board member John Parrish admits the process of restoring young girls after life on the streets is tougher than he ever imagined.
It's not about numbers. It's about one-on-one. It's about face-to-face. It's about 1 to 2 years that you're talking about in terms of redemptive process with this.
Daily life at Hope House includes lots of mentoring and informal counseling. The girls also participate in homeschooling, therapy, and newfound hobbies like making jewelry. Across the country, Christian groups wanting to fight human trafficking are keeping a close eye on what's happening here. Fitzpatrick says she's regularly besieged by calls and requests for information. They come from churches that want to start their own shelters.
Because we take girls that come directly off the streets to Hope House, I feel like that a lot of what we're doing is stabilizing them, helping them learn healthy boundaries, helping them learn self-esteem, maybe some trust that there are people that care.
For both Rahab's Hope and Hope House, the journey of finding, rescuing, and beginning to restore victims is no sprint. It's more like a marathon for each girl. The trauma they've endured is hard to imagine. But these workers say each rescue and restoration is worth the time and cost. Reporting in North Carolina, Heather Sells, CBN News.